What is up, dude?
What's up?
Barrett and I are making a concrete hearth sample. Excuse me, I'm so used to saying concrete countertop that I almost said that, but this is going to be a precast hearth that we're going to make. It'll be in 5 pieces, and we're doing a sample for the owner. So, as you know, taking video of white objects is hard to do. But this is basically melamine, and it's basically just a, coated particle board. It's a good cheap surface, material for making samples, because I used to buy really expensive laminates for this, and I was spending more money on the form than I was the concrete. So now, since we mostly grind our countertops, or I said it again, dang it, our precast, I should just say, since we grind it anyway, there's no reason to worry too much about how smooth this surface is. But this still works better than, say, plywood, because if you form up your precast with plywood, the grain of the plywood will actually show through the concrete. Alright, so we're just going to pre-drill some holes in this so that we can run our screws through this, and it won't thread into this, but it will thread into our little form here. Oops, got a hole in the table, Barrett. Guess it won't hold water now. Alright, so what we're using are these special star-headed coarse thread screws, and they're like a decking screw, but these are kind of shorter, so we can use. We actually use these to hang the slate over on Wayne Avenue, so they work pretty good. You want something with a really coarse thread on it for this particle board. You don't want to strip it out either, because if you run that screw in there and spin it a couple of times, the particle board will be wasted as far as holding power. Is that flush? Pretty flush. Just want that to pull up flush and stop. Okay, Barrett, it's not pretty, but like I was saying before, it's going to get thrown away, so it's not like we're going to sit here and build a cabinet, a disposable cabinet. We just want to form a temporary form to hold our concrete. Now, if this was the actual pieces, we'd be a little more careful, take our time, get it right. This is pretty good just for a sample. Okay, Barrett, here comes the tricky part. Where's the shovel? You don't want to mix up this whole bag. If you just have one bag and you're doing a sample, you do not want to mix up the whole bag at first. You want to put part of it in there. Now take that half of the bag and try to pull it out without ripping it too much. Go ahead. There you go. Whoa, go. Just go ahead and pour it in there. We'll have to get a bucket or something and save some. So what's going to happen is if you put too much water in it, you need to have some dry mix to mix in with it to make it drier. Alright, Barrett, let's hold the bucket up here, and I'll put some of it, actually put it almost in the wheelbarrow. Hold it over the wheelbarrow, there you go, because I'm not going to build it. That ought to be enough. Now, That way if we add too much water, we'll be okay. Barrett, put me a little water, just a little bit right there in the middle. Now it's best to have a hoe, we call them dirty hoes, to mix this with, but the next best thing is a square pointed shovel. Go ahead and put a little in there, Barrett. So I'll say whoa. Now I can do this by eyesight, but you need to measure your water. Okay, that's enough for now. You want to thoroughly mix the whole thing before you put any more water in there. Just thoroughly mix the whole thing. We're going to add just a little bit. All right, stop. The thing with concrete is, it's like oatmeal. You think it's really dry, and you put that one drop of water too much in it, and all of a sudden it becomes runny. All right, we found the dirty hoe. This is going to make this a lot easier. Before you add any more water, you're going to get all this together. There, pull it back from that side. There you go, pull it up on top. Pull the stuff from the bottom up on top, just like you're doing. There you go. These are all in the corners. There you go. Now, here's the critical part. I want you to take the water hose and just dash it. Let me have just dash it with water. Whoa. What you're looking for is that powder. See that?
Yeah.
You're looking for that. Right, pull it back from that side. Now pull it back. You gotta pull it all the way back from this side. Alright, so that looks about perfect. It's a little stiff, but what you don't want a lot of water coming out of it. It should stick on your trowel. That looks perfect. So the trick is not to put too much water and just add it as you go. Little bits at a time. You got about an hour. By the way, this is 5,000 pound precast mix. And it wants to set a little quicker. All right, Barry, get the rest of that out of there. You want to kind of pat it. Now, if this was an actual countertop, we'd be putting reinforcing in here. Got it? Up and out. The other thing I can tell right away is our table's not level. Level the table. There you go. There, hold on, let's level the table right quick. Grab a couple of boards out of there. Put that right in the middle. Okay. Hold on. Really what you want to do is go around and beat the sides and watch the air bubbles come up there. That's getting the air out of it. Well, it's making it settle. properly. Now what you have to remember is this is the bottom. So this side just needs to be flat and even so that when you turn it over, it sits straight. There, take the dirty hoe and consolidate all that extra. What we're going to do is we've got a 5-gallon bucket here, and what you can do with leftover is you can actually have a little form ready so you don't waste this stuff. Aren't you glad we didn't mix up the whole bag?
Yeah.
And you can make like stepping stones. You can just take a 5-gallon bucket, pour it in there, and as long as it's a 1.5 inches or so thick, you'll have yourself a little stepping stone. Still Barry, don't dump my wheelbarrow over. I had to go all the way to Dalton, Georgia to get this mix because they didn't have it. We almost lost it a few minutes ago, didn't we, Barry?
Yeah.
They don't have the 5,000 PSI the Precast mix up here for some reason. Now what you can do is just take your bucket, make sure it's all kind of level, consolidated, and let that dry, and you'll have yourself a round stepping stone, and you haven't wasted anything. Now, one way you can tell if you've got too much water in your concrete is if you have water leaking out these seams, because those are not waterproof seams, and if you have the proper amount of water, it will not come out. It will just sort of go through the hydration process the way it's supposed to, and that's what you want. You want the water to come out of the slab through the slab, not run out the sides. Plus, that basically meant you had too much water in your mix. If you've got excess water at this point, we're about 15 minutes after the pour. You can see I have very little water on the surface, and there's no water coming out of the seams anywhere. So that's a perfect mix. Well, that looks good, son.
Yep.
Now what we'll do next, and we'll do this in another video because it's kind of time consuming, we'll strip this down and then we'll start to grind it and polish it. That should be fun.
Yeah.
Yep. Alright, Barrett and I have decided that we don't want birds pooping on our concrete. We're going to go ahead and cover it anyway, even though it's not direct sun. Turn it lengthwise, son, and I'll lay this, turn it the other way. Boy, we'll get plastic indentations on my concrete. Alright, we'll find something to lay on the other side. Barrett's doing the dirty work. Boy, don't spray me. That's hippie music.